Alright guys and gals, it's time to bite the bullet and get to cutting her open. I got all my spots marked out where I need to cut. I already showed you this once, so I'm not going to waste your time, but just show you when we're done. Here we go. Alright, all of them are cut out and the longer bolts are sitting in there. Now before I go and weld these in, I want to bolt up the cross member just to make sure everything is lined up before I go welding everything in. Sitting in there. So let's go take a look under there. Just wanted to show you, here's our front bolt going in, and our rear bolt is going in. But this is one of the original GS bolts here, and this is why you need to cut them off flush, because they actually they hit the cross member, and that's as high up as it'll go, so you can't get the cross member up any more than that. So we're gonna go ahead and cut those off. I just wanted to show you why you had to cut those off. So they're cut off flush. Got both sides done. Now, some people, they'll just smear it with silicone and leave it, and I'm sure that would work for a while, but I worry that eventually the silicone would break down, and then, see that? Oh, then you would have this thing sitting back here rattling, and since it's underneath, you know, it's hidden by the cross member, you'd have to pull everything down again to fix that. So I'm gonna, when it comes time for welding, I'll weld this up so it won't ever move. So now let's test fit the cross member up there. There she is, just chilling up in there. It's a pretty cool milestone. I still got to take it down, and I want to clean everything up in here, spray the undercoating, and actually the gas tank has to go in before the cross member, but you know, it looks good sitting in there. Sweet. Another little thing I did off camera was I took the rear body kit off and put the OEM 2GB rear bumper on, just to take a look at it, see how it looks, give me some inspiration, and it looks so much better. God, I don't know what I was thinking back when I was a teenager putting body kits on here. You know, I still got the side skirts on. I'll have to get those off. But if you remember, when I did the walk around, I had the body kit molded so that you wouldn't see this seam here, and so it was all molded with Bondo and stuff. So I had to take my Dremel and actually find this seam, drill it all out so that I could get the bumper off. And then I had an 1/8 inch of Bondo feathered out, so I had to sand all that down. And then I just threw a spritz of paint on there just to keep it from doing any rusting until we get to the bodywork. But looks so much better with that rear end on. So I went ahead and put in the bolts for the gas tank straps. You know, this one here, that one there, and the two front ones there and there. And like I told you, I just went ahead and drilled a hole in front of the hole for the mount, or for the bolt, the hole that was already there for the factory, and then I just dropped the bolt down in, bolted them up. I did that for the front of each one. Yeah, like that. And I just used a little 1.25" hole saw. I wanted to use a 1 inch, but you know, 1.25" was the smallest one I had. I wanted to have a hole just big enough for a wrench to fit in there and go on the top of the bolt, you know, so I can hold it while I bolted up. So yeah, those are in there. I took most of the exhaust off because I'm gonna have to take this shield off because we have to weld in the drive shaft brackets in there. But now I'm just gonna clean everything up under here and spray the undercoating. It's looking a lot better under here, all nice and clean looking. You know, sorry it's kind of dark, but you know, you can get the idea. I sprayed the undercoating on here, gives it a nice texture. Looks really good. I only went up to here, didn't go any farther. I just sprayed, you know, where the gas tank and the subframe is gonna go, all the way to the back. And I tried using this Iron Armor rubberized undercoating. It's from Harbor Freight. But I sprayed it on, I let it dry a couple days, and then I ran my finger across it. I ran my fingernail across it, and it all just peeled right off. So certain, you know, rocks flying up in here when driving around would just tear it all off. So then I decided to go with this Rust-Oleum truck bed coating, and sprayed it on, let it dry for a few hours, and it seems a lot more durable. It's not peeling off or anything, so should be good to go. I went through and I taped off everything I didn't want the coating getting on, like all the bolts, the ends of all the hoses, all the electrical, everything. I taped it all off, and I taped off these bolts we cut off because I need to weld that. And it actually looks like I'm gonna have to break out the welder sooner than I thought, because once I get the cross member in here, I won't be able to weld that. So I'll have to weld that sooner. But yeah, looking good. Now I'll clean up the gas tank so we can get that sucker up in here. Hey there, guys and gals. I'm a little irritated right now. I was just inside editing this video and I realized I'm missing quite a bit of footage, and it's all for the gas tank. So as you know, we got both the gas tanks down and I showed you the fuel pump. Well, what I'm missing is all the cleaning out the gas tank, you know, getting it installed and everything. So now I gotta just throw this clip in there to show you what got done. So here, you know, as you can see, we got it installed here, and we got the tank up, and we got the I don't know what you call it, just the metal shield on it. And then I put the undercoating on the metal shield as well. Let's see, we got it bolted up with the new hardware. We got all the lines connected except for this one here, Band-Aid, because when I took the old line off, inside this hard line there was a whole bunch of junk in here. I'm guessing from the old gas, so I need to clean out that line before I go and hook that hose up. And that hose is just right there, but everything else is all connected. Looking good. So yeah, I'm filming this in the future, so we already got the diff installed, but you'll see that in a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that we got the tank in, because then the rest of this video won't make any sense. So now the gas tank's in, we get to play with some wiring here. Yeah, so this is the wiring that I chopped out of the GSX parts car, and I took the whole thing. If you don't get this plate with your wiring that you take from your donor car, don't worry, the grommet's still goes into the same plate. It's no different, so you don't really need the plate. It'll go into the one that you already have. So this is my length of wire that I cut out of the parts car. Now I got the plugs plugged in. I was able to save this plastic clip on this car, so I'll be able to just plug that in there like factory, and then this plate will go on here. And this is the front wheel drive gas tank plugs here in the grommet. You can see they're still all hooked up here. So what I'm going to do, I checked all the wiring, and all the wires from this GSX harness here are exactly the same color codes here. And I checked the plugs and everything, and everything's the same, so I'll be able to just splice these wires directly into this loom and be good to go. And then I'll splice them all together inside this little cover here, so when I put it all together, it'll all look factory. Alright, electrical is done. Got it all packed away in here neatly, looking all factory. I probably should have filmed me doing this, but I just did it really quick, didn't think about it. What I did is I staggered the cuts on the wires. Like I made a cut here, all the way down, so that when I put the connectors in, everything will still fit tightly and fit in here. If you cut them all at the same spot, put all your connectors together, you're going to wind up with a big old fat wad, and it won't fit in there. So if you stagger your wires, it'll all fit together real nicely. Cover back on, looking factory, at the look that I wanted. So I think now we'll go ahead and weld up those bolts underneath the car so we can get the rear cross member mounted finally. So there's one welded up. Not the, let's see if I can block this light. Not the greatest. There's a couple little pinholes still in here. I'll probably go back with a couple little more tacks right there and just to fill it in. But got that one done. I'm not the greatest welder. I wish I was. I wish I was good at welding, but for some reason that is a skill that I have not been able to acquire. I don't know what it is about, rolling dimes, but I can't do it. And especially here, welding upside down, not the easiest thing in the world. So got one done. The main objective was to just keep this from rattling, and it ain't going nowhere. So now we'll do the other one. Yeah, both are welded up, sprayed with the undercoating, both sides. So now it's time to get this rear cross member in here. Alright, rear cross member is mounted in. This is pretty exciting. We got the gas tank in, cross member in. I'm gonna have to do some touch-up paint. I beat her up pretty good trying to get her up in here. But yeah, I'm excited now because I have boxes and boxes of brand new parts to put onto this sucker. Another thing, as I'm down here bolting this up, putting the bolts in, I look up and I see my solid diff mounts, and then I realize, oh man, I'm gonna have to drop this down again in order to put these bolts in. There's no way the bolt is going in here, so this will have to come down again. But yeah, look at that. I beat her all up trying to get it in here. So a little touch-up paint to make sure I was nice and square and straight and how I was supposed to be. I measured from the end of the frame rail right to the edge of the cross member right here on both sides, and both sides are exactly 18 5/8. So I know we should be perfectly straight and square, plumb, level, whatever, all the way straight down. Ooh, look at that. Alright guys, so you could probably tell I'm getting pretty hyped up, and I'm really excited to finally be working on the GS again. The car has been neglected for so long, so it feels good putting in some work into it. And we got a lot done. You know, we got the bolts dropped in, we got the cross member up in there, we got the gas tank in there, got the gas tank wiring done. We did the undercoating spray. So we got a lot of stuff up in there, and it's looking good. But as you saw there at the end, I got the cross member in there, and I realized the diff needs to be in there first before I go putting it up. So I'm going to have to pull that cross member back down. But that's okay, because I want to rebuild that rear diff anyway. You know, I don't know what kind of condition it's in, so I just want to pop it open, check it out, see how it looks in there. Probably find a rebuild kit, rebuild it while I have it open anyway. And then we're going to paint it up, make it look nice and new like the rest of the car under there. You know, make it look as good as that rear subframe. So if you haven't checked out that previous video where we cleaned up that rear subframe, you can hit that link up here. You want to check out this next video where we tear this diff open, you can hit that link up here. And if you're enjoying the videos, I hope you are. Hopefully you'll hit that subscribe down here. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.